Happy Friday Eve, everybody. We'll give some folks a couple, maybe another minute or so to join us, and then we'll get started. Per usual for our Thursday calls, if you don't mind turning your camera on so that Molly and I are not alone here today, that would be amazing. And we'll get started in a couple minutes. Happy Friday Eve, Deb.
Hello.
Hello.
How are you
I was
doing?
hoping to, I'm great. How are you?
Good, good. I'm excited to be here today. This is very fun.
Same. All right, now that Deb is here and we're waiting on a couple of others, but let's go ahead and get started so that we don't take up too much of your Friday Eve, everyone. So again, welcome to our Thursday Charge Up call. Today's topic is all about unlocking your potential, and today is a mastermind for career advancement. I am joined by the lovely Molly Allison, and I will turn it over to her in a few minutes. But good morning, good afternoon, Molly.
Hello, good morning, everybody.
Happy to have you.
Thank
Again,
you
if
so
you all
much.
wouldn't mind, thank you. If you all wouldn't mind turning your cameras on so that we are not alone here today. As you all know, Mastermind is all about having a great conversation with the topic at hand. So that is our goal for today. Our agenda is as follows. We're going to do quick rules of the road so everybody reminds ourselves why we are here today. I'll give you a quick overview of our upcoming events. We'll do 2 sponsor spotlights today, and then we will turn it over to Molly for a fantastic discussion, and then we will close up today's session. So again, rules of the road. Actively participate in discussions for today. Listen attentively to everybody. Raise your own questions as well. So if Molly or I don't bring a question to the table, please ask a question if you have one on today's topic. Share your opinion, ask some questions. As a reminder, it's all about maintaining confidentiality of the information that you all get here today. But be sure to support each other, create that safe and supportive atmosphere that we would love for communication. Listen, do not interrupt, and allow everyone time to speak. Feel free to raise your hand, shout something out, use chat as well, and go along the way. And again, one final reminder, if you don't mind turning your camera on, I would greatly appreciate that. If you're eating lunch, by all means, share your lunch with us as well. So upcoming events. The amazing Let Them Theory book. We are having another book club on August 20th. So I invite you all to join us for a book club. And then we have Behind the Title coming up on August 28th with the fantastic Katie Higgins. And do not forget, conferences coming up in a few short weeks here. So again, this year's conference is in Las Vegas, Nevada. Expect dynamic speakers, hands-on workshops, networking, all the glitz and glam that the industry deserves and that Las Vegas delivers. Tickets are, again, live, so do not wait to grab yours. Roll the dice, ladies, and we'll see you in Vegas. So again, like always, we cannot do what we do without our sponsors. So I'm going to turn it over to the amazing Deb Thompson from BDR, and she'll take it from there. So Deb, welcome.
Well, thank you for the intro. That's very sweet. I am honored to be here today to represent BDR. Again, my name is Deb Thompson, and I'm a media strategist with BDR, which means that I work in the media services department, helping our clients build and place outside media plans, all those non-Google related advertising programs. But let me tell you a little bit about BDR. So BDR, together with BXB Media, is the home services industry's premier business training, coaching, and marketing provider. We work exclusively in the home services industry with HVAC, electrical, and plumbing. And we say that we are the source of truth for the trades, and I'll explain why in just a minute. But as you can see on the screen here, we have a very comprehensive lineup of training and coaching programs, and it's literally for every level of every person within your organization. So just very quickly, BDR University is a robust lineup of online classes that can provide the knowledge and tools for your CSR, your tech, and your business owner, literally every level. And then we have distributor hosted training, and this is where we partner with distributors and manufacturers to provide knowledge and training tools to the wholesale teams and to the dealers. And then we have profit coaching, and this is really the flagship coaching program for BDR. This is where that we help contractors put in place the structure and processes to be successful and more profitable. And then, of course, BXB, the marketing services side, we have a full suite of services, everything from web design, SEO, advertising, branding, marketing strategy, pretty much any aspect of marketing we can assist you with to build that year-round success. And then Profit Launch is our business planning workshops. These are 3-day workshops that are really kicking off now this fall, and they'll go through January. And this is where contractors sit down with their coaches and they lay out their year, their plans for the year, and using that roadmap, then they can be much more successful. And then our Secure Advantage program, because we can't do everything, right? We partner with the best of the best to provide our contractors with additional tools and resources they need for their business to help them grow faster and be better. And then the Spark annual conference. Oh my gosh, guys, this is like an amazing event. It's a 2-day event, has some of the top keynote speakers in the country there. Contractors come together from all over the country. So there's wonderful networking opportunities as well as training. So you get all the inspiration, motivation, and tools you need to really take your business to the top level. So just in short, what really sets us apart at BDR is the very deep roots we have in the trades and the home services industry. Everyone from Kim Archer, president of BDR, all the way down to the coaches and trainers, they all come from the home services industry. They have deep backgrounds there. And when we say that we're the source of truth, that's because we help contractors lay out that financial roadmap, that they have the plan, they have the structure, they have the processes, they know how to measure their success so that ultimately they achieve that financial freedom. And the owners get to actually have a life outside of work. So, and then I think the last thing is that we work across platforms. We work with dealers and distributors. So no matter what level, no matter where you are, we have either the scalable business management programs, solutions to help you grow, or help you lay the foundations for success with coaching, training, and business planning. So that's it in short. If you have any questions about anything to do with the classes at BDR, please contact Angie Schwartz. Her information is there. And anything about marketing, it's Angela Kale. So thank you guys very much for letting me share a little bit.
Appreciate you, Deb. Thank you so much for sharing and being here today. I know it's not always easy to fit time into your schedule, so thank you. I do not see our fantastic next sponsor on the call, but we can absolutely come back as soon as he gets here. So with that, Molly, I'm going to turn it over to you. I'm going to stop sharing my screen and give you an opportunity to share yours.
Fantastic. Hi, everybody. I am typically a Microsoft Teams user here, so I do hope that I am going to be sharing properly. All right, can everyone see my screen?
Yep, you're good, Molly. Thank you.
Perfect. Well, welcome everybody to Unlock Your Potential, a mastermind for career advancement. This session is designed to empower you with knowledge, tools, and strategies needed to take your career to the next level. This is my third time hosting a presentation with the Women in HVACR group. And can I just say, I'm just so energized and excited by the women and men that are committed to supporting women in our industry. It's a passion of mine, and it's just so fantastic to see. So thank you all for having me. And for those that I have not connected with yet, my name is Allison. I'm the manager of talent acquisition for Ream's global HVACR divisions. I've been with Ream for almost 6 years now, and I have a passion for networking and growing careers in this industry. I reside in the northwest corner of Arkansas in a little town called Rogers, Arkansas, and that area is home to Walmart headquarters, JB Hunt headquarters, Tyson Chicken headquarters, and then also my beloved Arkansas Razorbacks. We're not tremendous in any particular sport, but we have a lot of passion in our fan base. In my spare time, my husband and I own an upscale restaurant and wine bar in Fayetteville, Arkansas, which is in Fayetteville's entertainment district. We make our own pasta in-house. We do have the largest wine list in the state of Arkansas as well. So that is a side hustle, if you will, a passion project, and get a little bit of benefit from eating and drinking good food and wine. All right, I know we already covered the rules of the road, so I won't go into detail on here. As always, though, our mastermind sessions are about sharing best practices and perspectives. I really want y'all to let your guard down today and get vulnerable with us. This is a conversation, so it's meant to be super engaging, whether you're using the chat box or raising your hand or speaking. Any participation in the discussion today would be fantastic. So I appreciate you all for doing that. All right, so what does unlocking your potential career advancement mean? Unlocking your potential is about identifying and leveraging your unique strengths, skills, and opportunities to achieve greater success and really grow your career. It involves, understanding what your strengths are, understanding your areas of improvement, and setting those clear and achievable goals to, enhance your skills, build a strong professional network, and really just seizing those opportunities for growth. So by the end of the session, I hope that you will have a clear understanding of your potential and a concrete plan to advance your career in our fantastic industry. So let's embark on this journey together to unlock your potential and hopefully achieve some career aspirations that you might have. So we're going to get started now with our first discussion question. Again, active participation, folks. What are some common obstacles that women face in the HVACR industry? And I am not able to see the chat off the top. So Christyn, if you are able to share any
I got you.
there or questions, I'm going to work on that too. So what are some common obstacles that we face in our industry today?
The first one in the chat, Molly, is being a woman in a male-dominated industry.
Yeah, absolutely. I worked for JB Hunt Transport before Ream, so very familiar with male-dominated industries. It can be tough out there for sure. What else? Anyone want to come off mute and mention some of what they've seen? All right,
Sometimes,
Yeah,
sometimes
gotcha.
salary discrepancies with women in the field as well.
Yeah, absolutely.
And I was going to say, just in general, how people respond to you. They just don't seem to take you as seriously. They don't care if you're the owner or if you're the technician. It's an overall impression. And I just went through something as an owner of the company where I've had, you know, a lot of different technicians work for me. I find it interesting. I put in a male operations manager and the climate changed dramatically. So there would be 4 or 5 women, you know, sitting down because it was a female ops manager, a business admin, me as the owner, a female comfort advisor. I put in a male operations manager. We're saying the exact same things. And all of a sudden, you thought their eyes light up and they are just so much more in tune. And I've never had that before. So it's a whole new experience where I think people have felt that before. I've never felt that before. This is brand new for me.
Yeah, that's a great point. Kind of on that note, I'll mention from personal experience, another kind of just, I would say, flavor of that too is also age as well. With our restaurant, I am 35 years old tomorrow, actually. You know, some people, I say I'm the owner of the restaurant and they're like, oh, wow, you know, they're surprised by that. It's unfortunate that there are different stereotypes in age and gender and ethnicity, things like that. But definitely a challenge to be faced. Anything
A couple of
else?
things, yeah, a couple of things in the chat, Molly. People thinking we don't have product knowledge or experience, assuming we don't understand the technical aspect of products. This one's interesting. Lots of happy birthdays too, but this one's interesting as well. The male-female communication can be challenging as well.
Yeah, on that line, right? Women are often labeled as over dramatic or sensitive, which, you know, compared to our male counterparts might not be the same. You know, having that over dramaticness might undermine our credibility, undermine our confidence when we are speaking on something we know about, right? Perfect. Anything?
Sheila has a point as well. Reliability to the customer may vary.
Oh
I'd like
yeah.
to hear more about that one. Or relatability. There we go.
Relatability to the customer. Yeah, I mean, right. If you're going to a household, working on someone's unit or something like that, right? They might just not take you as seriously with what you're suggesting or what your diagnosis is of an issue. Perfect. And the other thing I would say too, an obstacle I've seen is sexual harassment. It's alarmingly present in all industries, not just our own, but I've seen some estimates that 8 in 10 women experience some sort of harassment during their careers. So definitely an obstacle for us to face, maybe mentally or physically as well. All right. Any other, this is fantastic communication. I appreciate that. Any other obstacles y'all want to mention? We'll go
Nothing
ahead
else in
and
the chat. Go ahead, Molly.
okay. I do have my chat pulled up now. I was able to get it.
Okay,
So we're
perfect.
good. Thank you. All right, let's keep going here then. So let's make the chat box our power grid. I would like for everyone to type in a word that captures a strength that you specifically bring in the work that you do in HVACR. It could be empathy, resilience, anything that makes you uniquely effective in what you do. I see grit, confidence, connection, trustworthiness, and these are fantastic. Positivity, highly organized, persistence. That's a really good one that I can resonate with for sure. All right, now I want y'all to take a moment and think, where has this strength, or maybe some of these strengths, shown up recently, or where could it show up if you've leaned into them? Have you utilized any of these in something recently that you've worked on? Or maybe after effects, thought about how, man, I was really positive in that most recent interaction. I'm really proud of myself for doing that. Anyone want to share an example? Great at listening. That's a good one too.
I can say something. That's
Yeah,
fine. I
Melissa.
apologize for joining late. I had to help out in the warehouse. However, hello, Melissa, Carrier Enterprise here in Orlando, Florida. I would say I mentioned that I was positive, and I know when I first joined here with CE, and like the HVAC world, as we know, is predominantly men. So their smiles and good mornings aren't necessarily there. So with me, I typically shout, I say, hey, good morning, everybody. I took the first 2 weeks to an actual note to do that, just to change, to see how they would warm up. And then eventually when people opened up, they realized they were saying that the morale there was horrible. We did have high turnover. It wasn't as great, but the people culture, as we started emphasizing that and bringing that to the president, it helped everybody else actually like rethink their steps, especially as leaders and managers. Sometimes we're in the day to day and we don't realize the effects it has on the employees when we don't stop or even say good morning. So once we started changing that, I can tell you probably a year and a half later, everyone being intentional with their actions. I mean, we definitely changed the morale. So it does
Really
really tend to be positive. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, intentional is a great word. Another thing too, I see with women, we do sort of have that sometimes motherly, empathetic leadership quality about us as well. So leaders or women are fantastic leaders because we can kind of see it maybe from a different lens from our male counterparts. Not that it's bad, but right, just kind of showing that there's different skills that we can utilize. Sheila, I see in the chat, connection is key in bringing business leaders together and connecting those dots. Yeah, absolutely. Just different perspectives, right? Anyone else want to share an example where your strengths showed up?
Hi, I'm Lily. I was just going to say I dropped connection in the chat. I'm fairly new to Ream, so I feel like connecting with hiring managers on a daily basis is just very essential. So establishing connections every day and kind of connecting the dots, especially since I'm remote, is really helpful in every day.
No, absolutely. That's a fantastic point, especially in this remote workspace that I know a lot of us are in now. I think in that you almost have to try harder, right? You kind of have to go above and beyond with your communication and your connection, just to ensure that your text can be written a lot of different ways, right? People can take that text in different contexts, so making sure that you're explaining how you want to and it's perceived that way. All right. As women in HVAC, our strengths don't just fuel our day to day, they really shape, our team's culture, innovation, and ultimately the future of this industry. So these strengths are all absolutely needed in what we do every single day. According to research from the London School of Economics, the half-life of skills now averages less than 5 years, meaning we know what we know today could be outdated tomorrow. When women executives lean into learning, we don't just keep up, we really are defining what's next, right? Franklin Covey has a great portion about sharpening the saw, sharpening our skills constantly as we continue to evolve in our careers, and as we continue to integrate more into this male-dominated industry. I know that those percentages, those ratios of men versus women are ever slowly ticking towards center. So we have to continue to evolve our skills to be relevant in today's workplace. All right, another question for us. In an industry that is evolving fast, from smart systems, AI, sustainability, staying informed is a leadership skill. So I want to hear from y'all now. What keeps you in the know? How do y'all stay updated with industry trends and advancements in HVACR? Podcasts, YouTube, certifications. LinkedIn is a big one for us in the talent acquisition space for sure. Vendor training, Hardy, fantastic. Nate, another really good one just for some general information. Open conversations with R&D. Yeah, that's a really good one, Jen. Women in HVACR, of course. One thing I think of when I think about this, and it kind of resonates with what Jennifer said, going and talking to other team members, right? Sometimes it's really hard for us. We just stay in our little bubble. We're all busy. We all have a lot going on, but maybe walk across the hall and go talk to an engineer or go talk to someone in the warehouse or the manufacturing setting. Ask them what they're doing, ask them what they're working on, try and just learn. Because most of the time they're forward thinking, they're innovating new technology, innovating ways to manufacture quicker or get product out the door quicker. So I think there's a lot of piggybacking you could do by just going to your other groups that you don't normally visit. Christina, can you talk with me about what is RACA, if I'm pronouncing that right? Yeah.
Oh,
Oops.
okay. Yeah, so RACA is actually a local refrigeration and air conditioning contractor association here in Florida.
Nice. I'm sure they probably have those in different areas. I haven't heard of it here in Arkansas, but it's probably national on some scale.
Yeah, we've got RACA, ACA, and FRACA. There's 3 of them.
Very creative on the
Yeah.
on the acronyms there. And I am also an engineer's worst nightmare. If I'm interviewing a candidate and trying to talk with them about what a heat pump is, I'm not gonna lie, I'm not the greatest at it. I'm sure what I say is probably not always perfect, but we give it our best shot. Perfect. All right, we'll go ahead and move on. Now let's shift gears to your career journey, right? So what are we doing future state? What does kind of being proactive look like? So let's talk with some network strategies, and we kind of already touched about that a little bit, but specifically that have helped you grow, lead, open doors, anything that has really kind of specifically resonated with you when it comes to advancing your career. For example, did you learn something from the engineering team that escalated you into an engineering position, maybe something like that? Jen, not yet, that's okay. I'm trying to think. So specifically for me, I mean, this right here is a perfect example. I might or might not be coming off of it like right now, but if you told Molly 10 years ago she'd be presenting in front of a group of people, she would have gone and ran under a desk. So I think just networking with this fantastic organization has helped me grow and lean. Christyn, finding male allies to help elevate, get visibility. I think that's a huge one, is the visibility piece. Collaboration with others in the industry. Pushing myself to meet new people. I think that's really important as well. In talent acquisition, right, we're meeting new people all the time in our industry. But it's not just that first connection, it's kind of continuing that. I tell my team, let's say they made a hire 3 months ago, go check in on that new hire, see how they're doing in their new role, seeing if there's any way you guys can work together, learn from each other, to grow in the company. Thinking outside the box. Good.
Is anyone using any social media platforms to do networking, or is I see a lot in the chat seems to be in person or obviously within the same company, but is anyone using social media?
I find in my opinion, I use it. I don't sit per se, for me, in my experience, say that it has advanced a lot of networking, just because there's still a demographic that doesn't really want to use it. They're not as open to posting or socializing, creating account, which is okay. Like I can't even barely get my mother to use Waze properly, and that's fine. But I think once we can start getting people open and receptive to how to use it, once we get taught, I think then it would open a little bit more opportunities in the networking world on social media. I just think we haven't gotten there yet. So for me, in my experience, people, it's sometimes not what you know, it's who you know. And networking really with people and being yourself, I think really can get you very far. So that's for me, my opinion.
Absolutely. I completely agree. I think LinkedIn works really well. We have pretty solid networks in that area, and I know it's not for everyone. I know everyone doesn't use it, and it can be very annoying as well. But it can have some really great benefits when it comes to networking and meeting other folks really into a career. Anna, I want to call what you said out, attending some events solo. I know we are all guilty of kind of getting in our little pack, right? Going and attending a dinner with your team because that's who you know. I think attending solo is a great way to get out of the box and network with others. That's I love that one. I love that you mentioned that. Alumni groups, that's a great one. Local forum groups as well. Yeah, I'm involved with the Northwest Arkansas ASHRAE chapter. I partner with them and I've gotten some networking through them as well. So local groups are great. All right, we'll keep going here. All right, so let's talk about specifically mentorship. I know the Women in HVACR group has a mentorship program, so I wanted to touch on this just a little bit. Early in my talent acquisition career, I found my mentor, who is now my dear friend. Her name is Allison. She officiated my wedding. She saw a drive in me. It was my first talent acquisition job way back in the day. And she really helped fuel in that meaningful, impactful way. She was my boss's boss at the time, and it was my first job. She taught me the basics of corporate world. Before I joined corporate world, I was actually a kindergarten teacher, so she had to teach me how to navigate that. It's very different in a corporate setting than it would be in a manufacturing setting necessarily, or like a warehouse. And what was most impactful for me, for my learning style, she gave me honest feedback when I wasn't my best self, which I think is really important, at least it was for me. I wouldn't be standing here today without the mentors who saw something in me before I saw that in myself. And HVAC mentorship just isn't about learning the trade. It's learning how to lead, how to navigate tough conversations, and how to believe in your own voice, which can be hard sometimes as a female. Mentors teach us kind of the unwritten rules, right? It's not something you can learn from a conference or, the HR handbook. They help us avoid mistakes and, kind of just see the bigger picture overall. In our industry, we pass down tools and techniques, we learn about product, but we're also passing down wisdom when you're a mentor or being or a mentee. It's how we build our legacy in your career journey. So kind of continuing that, I want to talk about development activity. In HVAC, we have tools and tech, but how often do we really invest in ourselves? So let's take a moment to reflect on what we've talked about, the courses, the certifications, the workshops that have helped us grow. And can we talk about maybe a development activity that has made the biggest impact in your career? So if you learned something from a conference, and I mentioned attending events solo, that's something that I've definitely had to develop in and struggle with still. What's kind of next? What's something next that you can do?
I actually went and got my EPA certification, so I was able to kind of bridge the gap between the customers and the technicians and really get granular with them and help them understand the science behind it all. So that was super helpful.
No, that's great. What could be that next skill or credential that could elevate? Any other ideas that you guys are like thinking about? Maybe you just haven't pulled the plug yet or haven't kind of reached across the fence. Something you want to do?
I would expand that question and say, why not? Right? So if there's something that we've been thinking about that would potentially help to advance our career, what's holding us back from doing that thing or joining that group or participating in certain things? What's holding us back from doing that?
That's good. Yeah. Are we too busy? Not enough time? Don't know what we want to do, maybe? Haven't even thought about it?
I like the point of an ideal growth plan, not just a growth plan, but the word ideal there. Like, where do I want to be? What does great look like for me?
Yeah. And it could be short or long, right? It could be, what do I want to do next month? Where do I want to be in 5 years?
So for me, it's about being intentional, right? So when we think about all the things that we have on our plate, if the task that you're doing and the time that you're spending is in alignment with those goals and where you want to go, I think it creates space to be able to work on that growth and take out all the noise that is hindering you from having the time to get to where you need to be or want to be.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. Let's get more specific here and get a little bit vulnerable. What are some of your shorter long-term goals? One of my goals whenever I started in recruiting was to be a talent acquisition manager. I wanted to manage a team of recruiters, and I'm so thankful that I've had the opportunities to be able to do that. And now it's kind of thinking, what's next for me? And I don't really know what that looks like yet. Originally, before I was a recruiter, I thought I wanted to be in just HR, and then I learned quickly I did not want to be in benefits or compensation all day. So recruiting was definitely my niche. So I found that, right? Goals can change too. I know my team is on this call, or some of my team members, they definitely have some goals.
And while folks are thinking about that too, Molly, I love the comment in the chat that we often, especially as women, separate professional and personal, but do we really have to?
I love that.
Great question to think about.
That's a great question. Jen, grow into a people manager. That's good. What else? Also share. Lizzie, SHRM certification. That test is no joke. I took off a week to study for the SHRM test, so prepare yourself mentally. Deb, marketing trainer. Oh, that's so good. Training others and just, getting to share your passion with others is so much fun to me. Just snowballs. Any others? The paths you guys are foraging right now for your careers. All right, well now I'm going to call you to action. So if you're not experiencing discomfort now, you're probably not experiencing growth. So this is our call to action, right? We talked a little bit about the what we want. We've talked about the challenges that we can face to get the what we want. And so now let's find our voice. Let's find our call to action. Any of these bubbles kind of impact you as a takeaway today? Anything that's kind of, oh yeah, I need to seek feedback. I need to ask what other people think of me. Maybe it is just setting those goals, writing them down, journaling them out.
I would focus, Molly, on that bottom right there, celebrate success. I don't believe many of us do that as often as we should. We're so quick to focus on the negative parts, the things that aren't going well, and we don't do a great job of celebrating.
Yeah. There's definitely little wins every single day, whether you see them or not, whether you think the day was awful, there's definitely always something to celebrate. So that positive mindset can really change your growth trajectory. Good. Any others?
I think take charge of your journey is really important for everybody with any sort of goal at all, because we are in charge of everything about our lives, and a lot of times we could possibly feel like there's so many things up against us, but just trying to figure out what we can control and doing something with that. Like, for instance, I said growth into a people manager. Taking charge of that journey might look like, taking charge in a meeting that usually I don't really speak up in, or introducing myself to a leader that I've never met before in maybe another business unit, that kind of thing. So, and what you said about if you're not uncomfortable, you're probably not doing what you need to do in order to reach those goals as well. So those things are all very uncomfortable, but I think it's really important.
Yeah, absolutely. Kind of taking charge too. I think about that. In my old organization, there was the top floor where all of the executives sat, and it was quiet and no one went up there, right? Unless you had a reason to. It was terrifying to even go on the elevator to that floor, but that's getting uncomfortable, right? introducing yourself to those folks. They're all just people at the end of the day. Go talk to your leadership, regardless of their title, and introduce yourself. It's great networking, and ultimately is hopefully, you're getting adventurous, you're stepping out of your comfort zone. Be a great way to potentially network. Perfect. All right, so we've shared, we've listened to each other, and now it's time to, really commit. I would like for y'all to take something small away from this, and in the next 30 days, use that to level up your journey in our industry. It could be as simple as talking to that vice president that you've been terrified to speak with, whether it's joining this group or trying and committing to a mentor, signing up for a certification course like SHRM or another one in our industry. Your next move matters. And so let's turn this little meeting today as inspiration into our action. If you've already got a goal already kind of brewing, say it out loud, make it real. Tell someone else to hold you accountable. It's these small steps that are really going to help us, move forward in this industry, move forward in your career. And the industry needs your voice. It needs your leadership, your ideas, your vision. So I hope that you guys take something from this and really kind of set it in stone. So I just want to thank you all so much for joining me today. Before I completely sign off, any last minute questions, comments, concerns, fears? All right. Well, if you need anything, that's my email. Feel free to reach out to me. Connect with me on LinkedIn. I love getting to know other fantastic women in our industry. And I'll just thank you all so much for your time. Have a fantastic rest of your week.
Thank you for your
Thanks,
time.
Molly. Appreciate you. A couple of real quick reminders. Registration for the conference is open. Thank you to our sponsors for today. Key takeaways for me: you own your career, ladies. So take from it what you can. And don't forget that we make big changes sometimes when the negative things are happening, but it's important to make those big changes when the positives are happening as well. So with that, thank you, Molly. Everyone have a fantastic Friday Eve. We'll see you again soon. Have a great one.
Y'all, bye-bye.